Hey everyone, so look, I know 11th grade chemistry might have felt like, well, a massive mountain to climb, right? Maybe some of those concepts went completely over your head, but just take a deep breath. In today's explainer, we're starting Class 12 entirely from scratch together. Think of this as your ultimate roadmap. It's a total fresh start to score big.
Here is your syllabus map for the year. We've broken it down into 5 easy buckets. 1. Physical chemistry core rules. 2. Unlocking inorganic chemistry. 3. Mastering organic chemistry. 4. Biomolecules and your body. And finally, 5. Strategy for 95+ marks. Let's walk the path.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Physical Chemistry Core Rules. Now, this bucket relies heavily on logic and formulas, and we dive right in with Chapter 1, Solutions. You can just go ahead and forget that scary textbook term, homogeneous mixtures, for a second. We're basically just looking at what happens when you dissolve stuff, like salt, in water, and how that completely changes its properties. We're going to cover concentration levels like molarity with a totally clean slate from 11th grade.
The absolute #1 crucial point here is mastering colligative properties and Raoult's law. Why? Well, because board exams literally love dropping a guaranteed numerical question right from this exact spot. If you learn how to use these properties to find molar mass and just practice the formulas, it's basically free marks.
Then we hit Chapter 2, Electrochemistry. Guys, this is the heavy hitter. It carries a massive 9-mark weightage. It's all about energy, how chemicals actually generate electricity, and conversely, how electricity forces chemicals to react. And despite those high marks, it's surprisingly easy to score on once things finally click.
We'll decode the famous Nernst equation together and explore the real-world tech that it powers. I mean, we're talking about everything from that simple dry cell battery sitting in your TV remote, right up to the massive hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells that power modern aircraft and spacecraft. How cool is that?
Our physical chemistry journey wraps up with Chapter 3, Chemical Kinetics. This is simply the study of speed. Like, why do some reactions explode instantly, while others take years just to rust? Just between you and me, this is arguably the easiest chapter of the whole bunch.
We're going to calculate exactly how fast reactions happen using zero and first-order equations. It sounds like scary math, but trust me, it's super simple. We'll also explore collision theory, which basically says molecules have to crash into each other at the exact right angle and speed to react. It's kind of like a microscopic demolition derby.
Moving right along to Section 2, Unlocking Inorganic Chemistry.
Here we navigate the tricky middle section of the periodic table in Chapter 4, the D and F block elements. We're going to pay really special attention to compounds like potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate. You are going to use these constantly in your practical lab titrations, so mastering them right now will save you a ton of stress later.
Next, we hit Chapter 5, Coordination Compounds. Okay, here, the normal rules of bonding just get thrown completely out the window. Metals sit in the center like a super powerful magnet, and completely unique groups called ligands clamp onto them, using these complex coordinate bonds.
We'll cover Werner's theory and figure out how to properly name these beasts. But the best part? This is real-world chemistry in action. You know that green pigment, chlorophyll, that you've been learning about since middle school? It's actually just a massive magnesium coordination complex. Mind-blowing, right?
All right, take a deep breath. Section 3, Mastering Organic Chemistry.
Look, I know organic chemistry has a scary reputation, but if you treat it like learning a new language and just revise consistently, you're going to be completely fine. We start with Chapter 6, Haloalkanes and Haloarenes, where we take normal straight carbon chains and literally slap highly reactive halogens onto them, like chlorine or fluorine, just to see how their behavior completely changes.
And we even get a fun reality check on one of our main chemicals here, chloroform. We've all seen that movie trope, right? Where the bad guy puts chloroform on a rag and the hero instantly passes out? Yeah, we're totally debunking that. Real-world chloroform is actually much slower, incredibly toxic to the human liver, and is pretty much completely banned in medicine today.
Next up is Chapter 7, Alcohols, Phenols, and Ethers. We're going to examine their structures and exactly how they're made. And no, we aren't just talking about beverages here. We are talking about massive industrial solvents, sanitizers, and essential chemical precursors that our modern world completely relies on.
Now, you'll need to pace yourself for Chapter 8, Aldehydes, Ketones, and Carboxylic Acids. This is the biggest chapter in organic chemistry. But here's your tutor secret. They are all united by one common feature, the carbonyl group. That's really just a carbon double bonded to an oxygen. Master how that specific double bond behaves, and you essentially master the whole chapter.
Our organic journey wraps up with Chapter 9, Amines. For the whole year, we focused really heavily on oxygen and halogens. Well, now it's nitrogen's turn to step up and take center stage as we look at these highly reactive derivatives of ammonia. Now, inside the amines chapter is a special topic called diazonium salts. These salts are so incredibly powerful and reactive that they actually act as a stepping stone to help us synthesize exactly 276 different aromatic compounds. It's basically the ultimate cheat code for organic synthesis on your board exams.
Moving into the home stretch with Section 4, Biomolecules and Your Body.
This is where biology and chemistry perfectly collide. And hey, math students, stick with me here. Don't let the bio part scare you away. This chapter is an incredibly easy score. We're just looking at the molecular structures behind carbohydrates, DNA, RNA, vitamins, and the enzyme catalysts that literally keep your very own body running smoothly day to day.
Finally, Section 5, Strategy for 95+ marks.
Knowing the syllabus is really only half the battle. We need a strict game plan to conquer it in just 7 months. So stick to this foolproof action plan. Watch the lectures consistently. Attend the live classes so we can actually interact. Practice your daily questions because chemistry is a muscle that needs flexing. And please ask your doubts in the comments. I'm your tutor, and we are building this knowledge base together from the ground up.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. 95+, that is just the baseline. Are you ready to dive into the solutions chapter and grab that perfect 100 out of 100? It's entirely possible, but it starts right now. So what do you say? Let's get to work.